procurement department here in ADB. Been with the bank for about 7 years, doing these kind of events with you, the external marketplace of consultants and contractors, for about 6 of those years, and look forward to sharing this hour of our time together this afternoon to help you all learn a bit more about how you do business with us, how you find the real opportunities coming out from ADB so that you can build your business intelligence early on in the process. As was mentioned in the opening plenary yesterday, if you attended that, if you wait until the RF project was coming for a number of months, might have had their teams and their consortia in place already. So you also want to be ahead of the curve if you want to really compete effectively for ADB's opportunities, okay? Now, ADB is a public sector organization, and for several years running, we've won the Aid Transparency Award in terms of quality and quantity of information published on our ADB website. So really, as was also mentioned, I think, by Kevin yesterday in the other Goods and Works plenary, you can really find a lot of what you need to know about working with ADB on our website. It is a huge website, though, a lot of content on it, so I'm going to try and point you in this hour together in the right direction in terms of where to go, how to find the things you need for your particular sectors or countries of interest, all right? So if we can just get the laptop on screen, tech team, and we can get started. I love looking at my face, but let's look at the website instead. Okay, here we go. So you can all follow along with me on your phones here, okay? So we're just gonna keep this really interactive. We've got a couple of microphones set up here. If you want to, jump up and let me have a question at any point in this session, by all means, because I'm going to just kind of go through some pages. And if you have a particular question on a page before I go to the next page, it's best if you can maybe just, wave at me or run up to the microphone so that I can take your question immediately before we go on to the next pages, okay? So it all starts at the very simple adb.org, right? You type this in, and you get to our lovely homepage, which changes regularly. And from here, it's your key to everything that we do, basically. So, of course, we have these key 4 headline titles along the top of the page that dig into the various content of the website itself, okay? Now, in terms of consulting and procurement opportunities, we have a whole dedicated tab of these 4 tabs called Work With Us. So this is going to be a key place to get started, but I just want to take you through the other 3 a little bit first, okay? So who we are, obviously this is where you can find out more about ADB's history, you can find out about who our management are. You can also reach some specialized areas. So for example, if you work in environmental safeguards and you want to support work on environmental impact assessments or land acquisition planning, these are very common parts of our project processing in ADB. Here's a page on safeguards, for example, and from here you can drill into a lot of our current practice knowledge, country safeguard systems, indigenous peoples, as an example, right? So, if this is an area of interest, you can start there. Other specialized areas under corporate accountability here. If you're working in project evaluation, for example, our independent evaluation department has its page here. If you're working on development effectiveness, or if you're from an NGO, we have a dedicated session about NGOs later in the program today, but let's just click into this one quickly. You can find a lot of good resources here specifically for NGOs and doing business with NGOs. So this will be, I would do encourage you to join the session later today if you're an NGO, but for example, right here on the front, a primer identifying business opportunities for NGOs. So this is a great guide that the NGO Center put together a couple of years ago, and this is something that you should definitely read if you are an NGO looking to do business with ADB. So again, this is something that you can find just by a couple of clicks into our website, and there's some key business intelligence for you. Other bits of this page, our corporate strategy, which is of course important in particular while you're writing proposals. You often want to frame your introductory paragraphs of your proposal to us with respect to how your offer aligns with our corporate mission. So if you want to understand more about our corporate mission, you can go here to Strategy 2030. You can read the corporate policy document. You can understand progress monitoring reports to date on how we're doing against our corporate targets. And you can, again, try and offer yourself in line with the operational priorities that are relevant for the particular assignment in which you're bidding for. Okay, so another good page to keep in mind here. If you want to join our annual meetings, when's the next one happening? Tbilisi, 2024 in Georgia. So if you happen to be in the region and you'd like to sign up, this is the place to come to take a look at our annual meetings as well. Okay, so this who we are is a lot of our kind of corporate central information. Now, what we do, you can find more about some of our economic research here, as well as the types of loan and grant products that we're lending or that we're operating, as well as pages for each of our key themes and sector areas. Okay, so this is quite an important sub-page of the website. You'll see also this business of ADB projects here. I'm going to come back to this because this same link is also available under the Work With Us page, so we'll get to that. This is a very important page, but we'll get to it when we come to this page, okay? But under what we do, I think importantly, so if you're an economist, you'll find a lot of our economic research under knowledge here, so quite useful, particularly if you're bidding as an economist or as a firm doing economic research, because our economic research department does hire a number of consultants and firms to help it generate, for example, the Asian Development Outlook report every year, where we provide macroeconomic forecasts of GDP growth for the Asia-Pacific region. So if that's your line of work, then you want to come around here and you want to look at some of our data and statistics, economic forecasts. For example, we just put a new report out last month with the regional economic forecasts, okay? So if this is some of your interest, you can come in, you can read about these, and of course, if you're bidding for these kinds of assignments, then you should be reading this information to help inform your proposal and help inform your pitch to us on what value you can add to our work in this regard, okay? Other bits, ADB blogs. This is where you can get a sense of some of the latest thinking coming out of our staff more generally across all sectors and themes. So, you can find out, will U.S. bank turmoil spread to Asia? Okay, that's an interesting one. Who wrote that? Arif and Irfan, and so these guys are economic department researchers. So this is another way to build some of your business intelligence here, right? Because you can go into the blog, because ADB staff in general are incentivized to write blogs because it looks good on our CVs, as is in many of your organizations. So what you will find, is you will find some blogs that may be relevant to your bid or to your sector or theme. And then, what you might want to do is say, who wrote this? Okay, Sin Young Park. Who is this person? Can I find her on LinkedIn? Can I connect with her? Here's my LinkedIn. Sin Young Park. Let's see if there she is. I'm actually not connected to her. Maybe I should be connected to her, considering she works here. But, then you could send her a connection request, and you could get the conversation started, right? So this is, an informal way to build networks outside of our annual business fairs or outside of periods of time when you might be physically present in ADB. You can find out who is generating the latest ideas and try and network your way into new opportunities by reaching out to these people, okay? So yeah, ADB blog, an important part of our website for sure. What else is here? let's dig into some of these topics, okay? This is another important part of the page. So let's say you're here as an education person. So, okay, let's click on education. Here you'll find the hub of everything we do with respect to education, okay? So you will find you'll find relevant economic data and statistics, impact reporting, questions and answers. You'll find, for example, key education experts in ADB. Again, these are people to know, people who are going to be putting out the request for proposals, putting out the bidding documents that you want to be going for, right? So ultimately, these are the people who are evaluating you and who are deciding whether they want to award the contract to you or to somebody else. So, you know, you want to know these people. You want to have networks with them. You want them to know that you're doing good work. Connect with them on LinkedIn, et cetera, right? There's a generic you know, sector group email list here. You know, I mean, I wouldn't generally recommend just doing a cold email to these kinds of generic email addresses because, you know, generally it will go to some assistant and they won't necessarily know what to do with it. It's much better if you have a real human that you can email, that you know, that you can talk to, because they're the ones who can then point you more effectively around the bank. You know, we're almost 4,000 people here, right? So we're a big organization. You have to know the right people to know the right opportunities coming down the pipeline. And the best way to do that, I'm going to get to it, of course, is LinkedIn. Many of us are on LinkedIn, so you can, you know, connect with us through LinkedIn, through events such as this, and help, you know, build your pipeline that way as well. But other ways, on these sector pages, what you find, ADB's work, let's see what that shows. You know, there should be some basic project and sort of summaries of, you know, the different priorities, for example, in the education sector. We see that, you know, equity is an important priority, STEM is another one, teacher support, basic education, okay, vocational training. So these are the kinds of key areas that we're generally working in ADB with our government clients. You heard some of this in the plenary of senior directors yesterday, right? And indeed, Shanti was on the panel yesterday, if you recall. So, you know, she was representing the education sector group and telling you about what their priorities are going forward, okay? So again, these are the pages on the website where you can dig in more to your particular sector or theme of interest. You know, let's just do another one here, climate change, for example. We had the climate change panel this morning. So again, you can see, you know, ADB's, you know, statistics of our support, where we're working, you know, interviews with some of our key people, impact, Q&A, and, you know, there's Noelle, right? Again, she was on the panel this morning. So you can see, again, we were bringing a lot of our key people to you through this event, and you can also see them on our webpage as well. And in this case, they also have their own social media platform, so you can follow ADB Climate Change sorry, it's not called Twitter anymore, it's called X. So you can follow them on X or on Facebook or whatever you would like, and you'll find a dedicated stream of our climate change posts from this team on those social media pages, okay? Okay, let's move on to the third key part of the website, where we work. This is where you can drill in by country, okay? So first I showed you how we drill in by sector and theme or by economic research. Now we're going to drill in by country. So you can see not just our country of operations here by Central West, East, South, Southeast, and Pacific. You can also see our regional offices where we have, for example, an office in Europe and Japan and DC, and you can see some of our sub-regional programs. For example, we do a lot of work through our GMS, Greater Mekong Sub-Region program. So, you know, if that's of interest, you can read more about that here, for example. But let's go into a particular country. Let's click on Pakistan, for example. So if you or your firm are interested in working in Pakistan, or you have operations in Pakistan and you want to build out your portfolio there, you know, click on this page and read about what we do in Pakistan. You can read about our projects there. You can read about some of the relevant blogs or relevant knowledge products that have been coming out, discussing elements has been supporting your country. We produce these fact sheets for each one of our countries that says how much we've lent, how many Pakistani staff work in ADB, who the board member from Pakistan is. This kind of fact sheet provides the basic information of the relationship between ADB and that country. And we have one of these for every one of our countries, including our developed countries. So for example, there's an ADB Canada fact sheet, there's an ADB Germany fact sheet, etc. These are quite useful. And all you have to do to find one of these is just Google, ADB Canada. Sorry, I'm typing with one hand here. But again, Google is your friend when it comes to our website. And here it is. In one click, I have the ADB Canada fact sheet. Okay, so this is how quickly it is that you can find out some basic information, for example, about our relationship with this country. Okay? So those are the fact sheets. Otherwise, on these pages includes summary data of the number of projects, active pipeline, and portfolio that we have in the country. Download country brief. Oh, that's the same one. Okay. Again, economic data, and then also this is important for country. Okay, so from here you can have a quick snapshot of some of the projects that might be giving you contracts in the foreseeable future, right? So active project here, strengthening women's resilience to heat stress. Let's check that one out. So okay, you can go into this and you can see that this is a technical assistance project. The project officer is Annabelle Woods. You can find her on LinkedIn and send her a message, all this kind of thing. You can read more about the project here in terms of how much money it is, where it's working. It's probably not the best example because this is a regional project and it's only $1 million. But it's just an example of what you can click into, finding out what's going on in the country. Proposed project. Here's another one. These are more dedicated to Pakistan. Let's do the KPK Water Resources project here. So proposed means it's not approved yet. They're still working on it. They're still working with the government to develop the project. But that doesn't mean there's no opportunities because, of course, we need people to develop the project, right? We need people to do the feasibility studies, do the detailed design before the board ever approves the project. And that means consulting opportunities. That means opportunities for the supply of goods and works as well, okay? So in this case, no tenders yet, no documents yet. This is probably not the best example because they haven't put anything online yet. But okay, let's look at another one here. Is there anything better on this one? This one's got a tender up, okay, so this one, Sindh Coastal Resilience, for example, although it's still being prepared, you can see that they advertised for a firm a couple of months ago. It's closed already, but at least you can see the list of the tenders that have gone out under this project already. And in this case, this project is, again, a preparatory technical assistance grant for $2 million to help prepare this coastal resilience project for Sindh, okay? So the firm who won this presumably is now the firm that will be preparing the feasibility studies and safeguard documents to get this project approved. And actually it's not awarded yet because the deadline was only August, so they're probably still evaluating the proposals, and that's why you don't see anything under contracts awarded yet. But eventually, once they do award, then this will move down here, okay? I'll talk more about that because this is very important, these projects and tenders page, but I just wanted to conclude on the country pages by saying at the bottom, and you'd like to visit our office in Pakistan, here you find the address, you find the contact information. You again see that they have their own social media platform. There's a ADB Pakistan on Facebook and on X. Again, you can see also the country director, the deputy country director, the communications person, the civil society focal point. Okay, so if you're an NGO in Pakistan, for example, you can contact this individual. If you're if you want more as general media information, you can contact the comms person. But again, we provide you with names of key people, both in sector and theme, and also by country, so that you can help build your networks. Okay. Now, if you cold call the country director, he's probably not going to reply to you, right? I mean, you have to be strategic about these things. These are senior people, they're very busy, and if they don't know who you are, they're just probably going to ignore your email, right? You have to sort of meet them in a forum, or you have to start, small and work your way up. But, if you have some connection, if you can find ways to make connections, then you can eventually get to these key people who make the decisions and who decide that, the strategic direction of their portfolio, what they want to buy, when, etc. Okay? With us in a number of ways. There's, I believe, a session going on in the other room about careers with ADB. So if you want to be a staff member, you can leave this session and go to the other one. And Pierre will be telling you all about, how to be a staff member. And of course, that's this part of the page. But I'm going to talk to you about, obviously, working with ADB as a consultant or as a contractor, okay? And again, we also have a bit about investors, because as a bank, we also issue bonds on the bond market, and you can buy our bonds, and buy our bonds. I'm sure they're very good. There's a green bond, there's a blue bond, there's a theme bond. Here, which is the working with ADB for consultants and contractors. That's why we're all here, right? So this is a very important bit of the website, okay? And you see what we've done here is we've divided this initial information bit by category. So if you're a consulting firm, click this one. If you're a supplier of goods or works, click on this one. If you're a government agency, et cetera, et cetera. If you're an NGO. And what these lead to is essentially a list of sort of basic, frequently asked questions that can help get you started. If you're right at the baseline, this is your first time in the door, you don't know anything about this. Question, but we also give you a fairly robust answer here, right? You have to obviously be a citizen of one of our countries, member countries. You have to, if you're a government official, you have to be on leave of absence. You have to go on our consultant management system and register. You have to apply, et cetera, right? So it gives you some basic information to help get you started. So there are a number of these question and answers, again, that can help you, get up to speed. Like, what is ADB technical assistance? You've probably heard that term a number of times today already. You might not know what it is. Well, this page can help you understand what that modality of grant financing is, okay? So, even if you're a seasoned hand in this game, you might not necessarily know the full definition of this term, so it's here for you, right? So I do recommend go on your phone right now, click on this page, and just take a look at these things. We've also got this little chatbot thing here, which can also help. You can type in other questions to it, and it can also answer certain information about basic consultancy rules and basic procedures of setting up your account in the consultant management system, et cetera, okay? But yeah, so again, there's another set of questions for suppliers of goods and works. There's a set of questions over here for NGOs. And in addition to the questions, you also see that there's some of the key policy documents, guidance notes, and forms here for you as well. Okay, so for example, the ADB procurement policy governs everything that we buy with respect to our relationship with the external market. So it's important that you understand our rules of the game, because that's how we have to follow these rules when we go out to buy, right? As you heard from Steve and Kevin in the plenary yesterday. So all of those documents are here for you. You know, our anti-corruption policy, for example. No, don't come and offer me a brown envelope full of money because I can't accept it, right? You know, so these kind of basic things are what govern our conduct here in ADB and how we work with you in the market. We have to be open, we have to be transparent, fair, we encourage open competition, and in doing so, we get the best value for money, okay? Yeah, so definitely look through this page. But now let's go to, again, a couple of the key pages here, okay? So operational procurement, what's that all about? So this is all of the what you're here for, basically. Us and our government clients buying goods, works, and services for our projects in the field, okay? Our energy sector, our transport sector, climate change response, that's what we call operational procurement. The other one here, institutional procurement, that's the chairs you're sitting on, the carpets, the lights. Someone had to supply this recently renovated room, which just opened a year ago. And if you're in that business, there's a session for you later today in the other room, okay? Our corporate procurement team will come and tell you how we buy IT equipment, how we buy office supplies, etc. We do have a fairly sizable pipeline of opportunities there as well. For example, we have a gas station in the building, we have banks, we have a commissary. All of those things are procured, right? So this is institutional procurement, and I'll leave it there for the afternoon session so as to not take away their excitement for you. But under operational procurement, again, it's everything else. It's all of our versus goods and works. We have a new page here about sustainable procurement, which you heard about in the plenary this morning, and you can read more about the MDB joint statement and about how we are looking to buy more sustainably throughout the supply chain. You can see links to our projects and tenders page, to our consultant management system. If you have a complaint, there's also going to be another session on procurement complaints later today. This is where you submit complaints if you feel that you haven't been treated fairly. Business Center, again, this is essentially what I showed you earlier. We call it the Business Center, but it's the list of the frequently asked questions, okay? All of this is here for you. Again, our policy documents, you know, various guidance videos that we've produced, generic contact information of our procurement department, etc. Okay, so that's there. Also the Proc Dash, which we showed you in the plenary yesterday, you can get to that from here. Okay, procurement statistics. So work with us, operational procurement, and then procurement statistics. And this is here where we are. Again, they showed you yesterday about how you can dig into our data, see who's winning the contracts, where, and for how much. And that can be useful for your business intelligence as well. But now let's go to, okay, before the final and most important page. This is also, so after this event, you will find all of the PowerPoint presentations on this page, Business Opportunities Outreach. This is where we put all information, and this nice photo was taken of our 2019 Business Opportunities Fair, which you may have attended. You might see your face in the audience if you attended that event. But this is where we put all the repository of information of all of our business outreach seminars. So here is where, of course, you registered for this event. But you can also find all past event materials right here, okay, archived event materials from the last 11, 12 years, basically. You can see every BOF right back to 2009. If you want to look at a PowerPoint presentation from 2009, I mean, you can, it's there. I don't know why you would want to, but you can. So that's how transparent we are, right? So, you know, everything's here. All of our outreach seminars as well that we do virtually or in person. So for example, we did one in May and March this year, did one in the US in February, and with, you know, with the Netherlands in January. All of these are also uploaded here. So again, you know, every bit of business guidance that you could want, you can find and download from this archive page, okay? Now, let's go to the most important page on the ADB website, and I don't say that lightly because it does get the most hits every year. This is the central core beating heart of our website, the projects and tenders page. This is where the money is, people. Okay, this is the most important page of the website. I underscore and bold and italicize that. This is where you find everything, okay? So it's split into 3 bits: projects, documents, and tenders. We'll go through each in turn, okay? Projects, this is the financing modality that ADB provides to the government, right? A project, in our terminology, means ADB goes to the government of Pakistan and gives them $300 million to build a bridge, okay? That's the project. Within the project, there may be many packages. There may be, you know, on-ramp package number 1, bridge deck package numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5. I don't know, dredging package number 1. You know, there will be a number of packages of goods, works, and services that need to be delivered within this $200 or $300 million financing envelope. That you will find under tenders, okay? Because those are the tenders. Those are the specific contracts, these specific opportunities for you within the broader project. The project is not the opportunity for you. The project is the loan or the grant we give to the government, right? That's the government's opportunity. Your opportunities as the private sector are the contracts, the bidding, the tender opportunities that come out of the project, okay? So that's an important term. Filter results. So you can filter both projects, documents, and, well, not both, all of the above, by country, by sector, by theme. You can also filter by type, non-sovereign versus sovereign. Non-sovereign means when we give money directly to a private sector entity. So sometimes, for example, ADB might fund agriculture company in Bangladesh directly. That, you know, and that's, we might take equity or we might give them debt financing. That's non-sovereign. Most of what you're here for in this event is sovereign. That's the money event are clicking on the sovereign. You can also filter by fund. If, for example, you're only interested in money financed by, or co-financed with a particular provider, you can also search that way. So maybe you're interested, for example, in GCF money. Here you can filter by all projects that are co-financed with the GCF, and you'll see that there's 37 hits here, okay? So that's another filter you can use. Also, you can filter by status: proposed, approved, active, dropped, closed, archived. Obviously, there are no opportunities for you if it's archived or closed or dropped, terminated, because that means it's done, it's closed, or it was never approved. So don't bother with these, okay, folks? There's no money here for you. But there is money here in proposed, approved, and active. Those are the big money, okay? Proposed in particular is where you're going to be doing design work, feasibility studies, safeguard reports. Approved, that means it's about to get going. It's approved, but it's not yet effective. So, that's not such a busy status because it's usually just a couple of months. And then active, it means it's already ongoing, the loan is approved, and now they're hiring for implementation, for supervision, okay, construction supervision, for project management services, for evaluation services, contract closure, auditors, accountants, all that kind of implementation stuff. You're going to find more coming out of the active projects, okay? And finally, you can filter by year in terms of when the project was approved or is proposed to be approved. So that's why you can see also future years here. So for example, projects that are only considered to be or for approval in 2025. So far, there's just 8. You can see them here if I just filter by 2025, okay? So you should definitely play around with this. Again, this was the projects page. And from the projects page, you find the project itself, like I said. So let's just get into one that might have some good opportunities behind it. Let's go to transport. Let's click maybe India, because we always do big projects in India, and maybe do Pakistan, and maybe do Bangladesh. We'll probably find something good in there. And then let's say sovereign, let's say proposed or approved or active, and let's see what we get, okay? And you can do the same thing here. So I got 153 hits. There's a bunch of proposed ones. Live, I haven't pre-prepared this, so sometimes you get a good one, sometimes you don't. But let's see, this is this is 300 million, that's pretty good. So how do you read this page when you find a project that you think is interesting? So here we are, okay, India, that's obviously the country that the project is working in, so that's a piece of information for you. This is the name of the project, there's the status here, there's a brief summary of it, okay? Now, again, this is where you get your business intelligence. This Kai Wei Yeo guy, this is the guy who's coordinating this project on behalf of ADB with the government of India. How do you find this guy? Well, I bet he's on LinkedIn. Let's find out. Kai, what was his name again? Kai Wei Yeo. Oh, there he is, yeah. So you can find him right there. You know, send him a connection request. Say hi. Don't tell him I sent you, though, because he might not appreciate being spammed by 1,000 consultants here. Anyways, okay, so project data sheet. This is, again, a brief summary of this particular project, right? So this is kind of, you don't need to know this number or stuff, but I mean, obviously the money is important. How big it is will represent directly how many opportunities there will be for you. Although size isn't everything, right? I mean, you may want a very strategic piece of work for $50,000, and through that you get your foot in the door and expand from there. But you know, obviously, if it's bigger projects, often usually have more contracts, more bidding opportunities, right? Because it is a statistics game as well. You won't win everything you bid on. You have to be strategic with what you bid on, so you have to find where the pipelines of opportunities are coming. Now, in terms of linking to our corporate strategy, that's what operational priorities mean, right? So this project is tagged as fulfilling operational priorities 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, okay? So each project will be tagged against certain priorities, and again, you can use that as part of your proposal writing, for example, in terms of writing, you know, again, you want to write a pitch of how your services will fulfill our corporate strategy. Here's some hints for you right here, right? Obviously, the sector is transport. Again, you get a description of the project here. You know, you get some safeguard information. If you're a safeguard person, you know what these letters mean. If you don't, I mean, I don't have time to tell you about them, but basically A means higher risk, and B means lower risk, and C means kind of no risk. But again, you get your safeguard information here. Person. They put a little description up about what kind of business opportunities will be in the project, so that's important, right? They need construction supervision consultants. There will be works packages, etc. So that, you know, is some information. You get, this is the timetable, so you see that this project was approved just a couple of months ago in June, okay? So it's pretty fresh into implementation, considering that our projects usually run for between 5 and 10 years. It's kind of fresh off the table, and you can see it's slated to close in 2028, right? So, you know, obviously if you find a project that's closing in 6 months, there probably won't be many opportunities left. But a kind of fresh project like this should still have opportunities coming down the pipeline. So let's find out. Tenders. Oh, lots of ones here. Good, good. That's what I wanted. So you can see there's a number of them. There's actually one active right now. Bihar State Highways Phase 2, advance notice. So if you're in transport, here we go. 2021, I don't know why it's still in advance notice, but I guess they haven't tendered it yet. Basically, you click into that and you can see the information of this upcoming package, okay? It's to be building, you know, obviously roads. So if that's, you know, if that's your game, then maybe you should give Mr. Sanjay Kumar a call and see when this package is coming out and prepare. And ADB does the, you know, the review and makes sure that the process is above board and transparent and fair. But ultimately, with the loan and grant projects, it's the government's decision. So again, you'll want to find out more business intelligence through the key person in the government, in this case, oops, Mr. Sanjay, as it says here. Now you can also see there has been a number of packages in this case already closed, some for consultants, some for goods and works. You can see, you know, the status of those. Apparently no contracts awarded yet. They must still be evaluating all of these, but eventually okay, so every project under sovereign lending that involves goods and works in any shape or form will have a procurement plan. And this is supposed to tell you everything the project intends to buy over the course of at least the first 18 months, and then for the rest of the project more indicatively. This is a very important document, okay? This is where you get your business intelligence from. The procurement plan is essentially saying over the next few years of this project, we need package 1, package 2, package 3, package 4, okay? That's how you get this advanced intelligence so that you basic data of the plan, and then you get into the list of packages, right? So let me make that bigger so you can see it on the screen. That's good. Okay, let me just move it over. Maybe too big, you can't see the whole thing. Okay, so here we go, right? So the way you read this, you know, you see a general description of the package, you see the value of the package. This is a package, right? Package 1, it even says package 1. Obviously, this is going to be a road segment, the road segment between Katihar and Balarampur, okay? For 57 million, that's not an insignificant amount of money. The procurement method, open competitive bidding, okay? That means it's open to the market. There's going to be an invitation for bids that goes up. Everybody can bid on it, okay? Review, this is like how ADB gets involved. Prior review means ADB reviews everything that the government does step by step to make sure they don't screw it up, okay? Post-review means ADB comes in at the end after the government's done everything and just checks compliance at the very end. We do post-review for more advanced, high-capacity clients who, you know, are very experienced with ADB. Otherwise, it's generally prior review. Bidding procedure. So in this case, 1S2E means a one-stage, two-envelope bidding procedure. You can read more about the different types of procedures in countries generally like two envelopes. They often have that in national legislation. Some of the other countries like one envelope, but you see both quite regularly. Two-stage is less common, but is also allowed, okay? And that, again, gives you some intelligence of what the procedure will be. The anticipated advertisement year, so again, this one seems to have already gone out, right? Q4 2022. And then there's some other comments, like will pre-qualification be used? No. International advertising, number of contracts, will domestic preference be used? Will advanced contracting be used? Now again, I don't have time to get into all of these nuances, like what is domestic preference, what is advanced contracting. You can read about these in the regulations, okay, but I mean, most of the time, you don't really need to know too much about that. What you need to know is when is it coming, because then the rest of it you'll be able to read about in the bidding documents themselves, okay? So let's double check this one. Let's see, this was, the procurement plan said that Katihar Balarampur was supposed to go out Q4 2022. Remember, we can go back now to the tenders page, Did it actually come out in Q4 2022? Package 1, do I see it here? Package 1, here it is. Packages 1, 2, and 9. And April, what did I say? I said necessarily a perfect measure, the procurement plan, because obviously it's a guess of how the project will go. So if you only lived your life by this, well, you would have been late to the game, right? Because here it says Q4, but actually it was advertised in April. So you do still also have to keep your eye on the website. You have to keep your networks open with the government clients or with the ADB clients, because sometimes things change, and they're supposed to update the procurement plan when things change, but in reality they might only update it as a batch every few months or once a year or something like this. I'm giving you the practical reality of these things. So the procurement plan is very important, but at the same time don't live and die by it, because you might otherwise miss some opportunities. You still have to keep your business intelligence on the rest of the website. So let's go back to this main page. So yeah, we've been looking at it from the project perspective. We can also look at it from the documents perspective, okay? Where again, we have the same kind of filters, but here we can then filter by type of document. And this can be of interest to you, for example, if you want to find all safeguard reports for a project, all environmental monitoring reports, or ESA. One you would want to look for. So if I just search procurement plans, click apply, you see I've got almost 2,600 procurement plans here that you can look through for all of the projects. And you can also, again, filter down by year, by language on this one apparently. It's Mongolian procurement plans, it's kind of random. But anyways, I mean, you can go into these different types of procurement plans for each project, and again, be building your business intelligence out depending on what you're interested in, okay? Finally, tenders. Again, this is where you can find advanced qualification, lists of pre-qualified applicants, ongoing tenders. So this is where the real this is where you can get a lot of good data out of. So let's just click on invitation for bids. These are ones that are live right now, okay? Apparently there's 6,000 ones that are live right now, so you can see the scale of opportunities that we have. Not sure if all of them are actually live, but I mean, apparently a lot of them are live right now, so that's good. Okay, and let's just click on this one. PRC, Sichuan, Ziyang, Inclusive Green Development Project rebidding. Okay, so this went up a couple. Electrical safety laboratory equipment, environmental reliability laboratory equipment. So basically, if you're in the business of supplying laboratory equipment and you want to work on that in PRC, why don't you bid on this? Because it's open right now, and you can bid right now. It's due November 8th, 2023, right? So there's an opportunity for you. And there's apparently 6,100 others for you as well, okay? So, if you do nothing else on the website, come here, filter by procurement plan or invitation for bids, and eat your heart out, okay? I mean, there's a lot of opportunities here live for you as we speak that you can find across all of our sectors, thematic areas, and countries, okay? So lots of good stuff. And you can also, again, be looking at lists of shortlisted firms. That takes you into our consultant management system. Let's click on, some of these are still live. Where are the shortlisted ones now here? What is this? Anyways, we can find, now it takes us back to the website. This was for coffee. If you're working in coffee, climate resilient coffee, you can bid on this one. You can also look at contracts awarded, okay? This, we do it in kind of an Excel spreadsheet per month. So you download the Excel spreadsheet, and then you can open it up and see all the, yeah, I know contracts open there. Can you open, please? Is it going to open? Yeah, you can see all the archived, okay, so, sorry, this isn't my laptop. But, okay. No, go away. No, go away. Come on now, leave me be. Okay, so, yeah, make it bigger. So let's just go, whatever, Cambodia. This is the August report, okay, Cambodia. If you want to find out who won the climate-friendly agribusiness value change project, maybe you bid on it, you didn't win, but you want to find out who won. Well, MTA Construction Company won, okay, and they're based in Phnom Penh, and this was a small works. The contract amount was $1 million. The contract date was August, and it was for rural market infrastructure. So maybe you bid on that, maybe you lost, and now you know that MTA won and they beat you, right? And that's business intelligence. Maybe you want to call MTA, maybe you want to become their subcontractor. That's called a hop-on opportunity. There's still opportunities even after the contract has been awarded, because MTA might need subcontractors. Maybe their initial consortia falls on the line. So again, this database gives you all the contracts recently awarded. You can find out, if you were unsuccessful, who did win, or otherwise you can build your business intelligence by finding out who the key players are in different countries or different sectors, okay? So again, an important page there that you get to on the sidebar here of the tenders page, along with the list of shortlisted firms, contracts awarded, pre-qualified applicants. Here's another opportunity for hop-ons, right? So if the bidding process has a first stage pre-qualification, then that gives you the opportunity to give the firms a call before they do the RFP, the full proposal stage, and say, add me into your team, I can help you, I'm good at this. And maybe they'll add you in, okay? You won't see too many because we don't do a lot of formal pre-qualifications. See, these are already from 2018, so not necessarily a lot going on here, but like this one in Vanuatu, you can see that the list of pre-qualifications, there was Fletcher, there was a joint venture with Hall and Arby Sarl, and there was McConnell Dowell, okay? So, opportunity. So, yeah, that's the website in 55 minutes. There's a couple of other important things I need to tell you about, though. First is that immediately after this session, we're going to be having a clinic with myself and the IT people to tell you more about our consultant management system, okay? So if you're wondering why I haven't spoken about that yet, it's because in 20 minutes we're going to be talking about it for another hour, okay? So, but the important thing is that this is where you access ADB's own here, okay? Now, our government clients, they also post their opportunities in CMS, but then they take them offline and they do their own evaluation, usually in their own systems, okay? And then, of course, you sign the contract with the government. So government consultancy for the loan and grant projects may usually also be advertised on CMS, but then you would be contracted offline. ADB consultancy is always on CMS, okay? So there's still a good chunk of opportunities with ADB. We do about 3,000 contracts. And ADB hires, an independent evaluator or a project auditor, 100,000 or $500,000 or $1 million. The scale, the volume can differ, but certainly a lot of opportunities with ADB as well, and this is where you access them. And if you're interested in learning more about CMS, Stay tuned in 20 minutes, same room, same place, same person. We're going to talk about CMS, okay? But before we wrap up, because we've got 5 minutes left, I just want to pitch LinkedIn again, okay? Because this is really a place where you do a lot of your business intelligence. So this is my LinkedIn. I would say you can send me a connection request. I may or may not accept it because if I haven't met you, I don't generally accept connection requests. But you can send me a message and I'll see what I can do. But anyways, what I want to show you on LinkedIn is our business center and also places you can network with other people, okay? Our consultants network and our suppliers network. So if you just go to your LinkedIn profile and you search ADB Consultants Network or ADB Suppliers Network, you can join these groups, okay? I'm the group manager of both of them, so I will be the one to, look, 13 requests to join. Maybe some of you are sitting here. I'm just going to approve you all right now. There you go, May. There you go, Lynn, BFW, Wendy, Juan, Eka, Charmaine, Kits, Jesse. Here you go. You're all part of the group now, okay? So welcome. This is a place you can, network. We had a few posts here, I think, is people saying, I'm coming to the BOF, give me a call. Let me look in the consultants one. We do have it, it's pretty active. You can see this one's got almost 10,000 members, okay? So, make the most of it, post stuff here. Don't spam it, please, because otherwise I'll have to kick you out. But, you're free to post stuff. This person wants to know about connecting to NGOs. Cool, this person is posting something. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff here, right? Good places to be to connect with fellow ADB consultants and suppliers. And likewise, our business center is a dedicated kind of corporate page on ADB that you can follow. It's not like a group, but you have to follow the page. And here we post all the kind of upcoming business outreach events. We've been posting a lot about our BOF here, and we often cross-post other things of the bank as well, okay? So I would encourage you to follow our business center page, sign up to our consultants and suppliers networks, okay? And these are good ways to connect with fellow consultants. And then just, put your LinkedIn to work, right? Search for employees of the Asian Development Bank. Many of us are on LinkedIn. And, again, cold calls, sometimes they work, but it's obviously better if you can have a way into people, right? Because we're all busy. I've got apparently 15 connection requests from people here. I'm more likely to talk to somebody that I've at least met. Maybe you shook my hand at the drinks last night. I'm more likely to connect with you if we have had some personal engagement. And that's speaking personally, but I think most of my colleagues in ADB will have something similar. Hey, I see Corin up here. Is Corin in the audience? I know he's here from SMEC, so give this guy a call. He's cool. So anyways, sorry. This is my own LinkedIn page, so I just see my own feed here. But again, just search ADB. There's there's 4,000 or 5,000 of us on here, former employees, consultants, and connect. And again, it's a good way to build your networks. And to build your opportunities. Because there's one thing, that's the website, the formal projects, what you can see here. And there's another thing to know, this guy, Nurullah. I know this guy, he's a nice guy, right? But our kids go to school together. And if you have a friendship like that, you can help, get into this project if you're really interested in climate resilient coffee, right? So there's what's posted, and then there's the intelligence and the networks you can get from events like this and from keeping in touch with us, okay? So hope that's been helpful. I think we're at the hour. I haven't seen any hands or anyone running to the microphone, but if we can stay on for a few minutes if you want to delay your coffee. Otherwise, release you to your coffee and your snacks and welcome you back in, I think, 10 to 20 minutes for the CMS session, if that's of interest to you. But otherwise, I can stay here for 5 more minutes if anyone's got questions. Otherwise, thanks very much. Okay, I guess I covered everything, so please enjoy your coffee. Thanks. Take care.